Hello everybody. Welcome back to our channel, the Open Company channel. My name is Andre and I'll be your host again. Let's get it started. So if you're new to the channel and you don't know what this is all about, I'll just give you a quick um, explanation about what the Open Company is. So here's our mission. And basically it's about building a real solution for a real customer online on YouTube. Okay, so let me put that for you. Um, Also, we want to teach students uh, the challenges about real software development, okay, in real world projects. That's the idea. Share experiences, that's good, always good, okay, and contribute to a better world and society. So, yeah, it's all about that. If you like the idea, here it is. Please consider subscribing because this is the way, actually, one of the best ways we have to support the idea and make it grow and make it happen. Okay, so if you like it, consider subscribing. It's gonna help us. You can contribute with ideas and suggestions. Please use the channels, the chat, comments, whatever you need. Contact us if you need. Okay, um, and also, if possible, share with your friends and mainly with those in need. Now it's time to welcome our team. Okay, so I will put our beautiful team on screen. So just a minute. Hello, team. How are you today?
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Wow, wow, wow,
Hello.
wow.
All good? All fantastic? So, guys,
Awesome.
you're not seeing me at the moment, just that little figure there on the top, but this is the team. Um, yeah, say hello again, Miriam, Marta, and the guys below, the ladies are basically they are our customers. So real customers doing real things. So yeah, this is it. Hi guys. So let's start. I will show the plan for today, okay? And then we talk and we interact as we go. Can it be? Yeah, it can. So let me show you. The plan for today, for today's episode is this. Of course, we're going to do a very quick retrospective about what we did before in the previous session. Then we are going to take a look on our current backlog on DevOps, the current stage, because the team contributed with some items there that I want to share it with you. Okay, then we move on to today's session subject, which is how to use Event Storm and how it helps to develop the software architecture and how it helps the communication between the team members. Okay, so we will, after this quick introduction to Event Storm, we will move to do it actually and do a real Event Storm session and analyze a real feature of the system, which is the iJus newsletter module. Okay, then just some things about the next episode and final considerations and thoughts. Okay, so let's move on. Team, are you ready for using our board?
Yes, we are.
So I'll move to the board. Okay, here we are. So just a little more information about this, about what's happening here. You're seeing some pointers moving on the screen. Those pointers are from my team members. They are all in the same board in this very cool application. It's called Miro, and we're going to use this application to do the event storm. You know, event storm is a technique used to brainstorm basically ideas in a nice and agile way. And a session, an event storm session includes everybody, including the customer and stakeholders if necessary, and also domain experts. We are lucky enough to have our customers with us today, the iJus team, and the customer, Icaro, in this case, he's a domain expert because he knows everything about the main purpose of the system we're going to build. So that's the importance, that's the reason why it's important to have our customers with us and everybody that can help and contribute with this idea. Okay, just a little more explanation about what you're seeing here. You're seeing a Miro board, and to the left of the board you have some post-its. Okay, so you can see it's a colorful set of post-its. These colors have importance, they mean something, and then basically what they mean are the names written in them. So we have events, triggered events, definitions, concerns, and so on. These are all real stuff, and this is the way we use these post-its in real sessions. Actually, we're going to do a real session today. So I believe Miro is free for a while. If you have some specific needs, then they will charge you, but you can use the basic stuff for free, at least for now. So no problem. Just use it and make good software with it. Team, I see that you're all there, so let's just move on to a real session and do some actual work for our customer. Mainly the domain expert, Icaro, you know about law, and you know, Mateus, you also know about the things, the way you need the business to be represented. So it's important, your input. And this time, I need you to really contribute with the ideas, because that's the way it is. And one thing about the event storm that is valid to say is this: it's not really easy to start a session, because the questions and the ideas are totally new. So things happen as we start talking, and that's the importance about the interaction. So I will ask you, my team, to just unmute and start talking. Okay?
Okay.
Hello, Marta. I hear you. So, guys, and the whole team, actually, I'm addressing the whole team. But this time, specifically to iJus, my customer, our customer, I have a question for you. When you think about the newsletter module feature of the system, how do you think, what do you think is the first thing that happens when the user visits the page?
Bom, eu sinceramente, a gente tinha feito um template básico,
Yeah.
com basicamente a imagem que a gente queria ter de cara, referente ao cadastro da newsletter.
Yes. So, do you want to show anything about that to us? Oh, I think I jumped ahead and didn't do one thing I said I would do, which is showing our DevOps current state, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think I will just skip for a while the event board and move to DevOps. And Icaro, is what you're saying there already? So guys,
André,
yeah.
por favor, que minha mensagem, meu áudio está meio ruim.
What did you say? What happened?
Não, cortou o que você disse.
I asked you if the image and work you did is there in our DevOps.
Yeah.
Ah,
Is
sim,
it there?
sim.
Do you know where?
Eu sei.
Acho. O Matheus sabe.
Okay.
Sei.
So guys, Icaro and Mateus are Brazilian, so they are speaking in Portuguese. When necessary, I will translate that for you, okay? So tell me, where it is, Mateus?
Eu lá,
Hmm?
lá no 298.
298,
Yeah.
which is here, newsletter functionality, right? So guys, taking up the opportunity to show you, can see that backlog grew. It's bigger now with many items. We have features put in our backlog. We have tasks already. And we also have an epic, which is the actual solution. Okay, and we are organizing our backlog like that. And we have user stories too. So the functionality we are going to build today using event story, event storm, is in here. Mateus, where did you put it? Is this an attachment or something? Yes, it's an attachment, isn't it?
Yeah.
So in here, user template with disclaimer. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the functionality we're going to brainstorm today. Do you have anything to say about it, Mateus or Nicolo?
Bem, é basicamente uma entrada, né? A primeira visualização do que é o iJus.
Okay, so this is according to Mateus, which is our customer, this is the initial functionality that will be displayed while we develop the application. So it's a newsletter signing feature. Okay, so this is basically the main page for the first version of the website, right, Mateus?
Exatamente. É uma primeira página para criar lead para a gente, um banco de dados de advogados, para quando
Okay.
iniciar já ter um tipo de cliente.
So basically, this is a main page, and the purpose of the page is to create market lead. I think that's the name in English, and that's the idea we're going to event storm today. Is it all right, Mateus? Anything else to say about it?
Não, basicamente a ideia desse newsletter é captação de cliente para quando iniciar o processo, o iJus.
Okay, so this is the idea, the main idea for starting the project and having something to capture customers and doing this market lead action that they need while we develop the whole application. That's the reason why we're going to start with this. Okay.
Leads é basicamente cliente.
So he's saying that market lead is basically having clients interested and knowing about them. Is that it, Mateus?
Que são pessoas que se interessaram pelo produto.
Yeah, people that are showing some interest in the product. Okay, so yeah, let's discuss that. Then let's move on to the brainstorm. Just to finish. Oh, I'm trying to finish to close the thing in the wrong button. Here it is. So I'll just go ahead and show the table, the board again. And here we are moving our mouses, our pointers. Mouses is mice in English. Sorry for my poor English. Okay, guys. Mateus, if you consider that, Mateus and Nicaro, if you consider that main page that you just showed us, what's the first thing that happens if you have to name an event? What's the first thing that happens when the page is loaded?
Em questão da newsletter?
Yeah, that page that you showed me that we have to build. What's the first event that happens when the page is loaded to the user?
A primeira coisa, na verdade, eu imagino que página ela vai se abrir da mesma forma que a gente mandou aí para você, com o logo do lado, a parte onde a pessoa vai se cadastrar, né, todas as especificações.
Ok.
E, e eu não creio, não sei se o Ícaro imagina alguma animação nessa questão, né? Mas a gente só imaginou uma questão mais básica mesmo como primeira mensagem, né? Ícaro, você quer falar?
Bom, na verdade, uma coisa que eu andei pensando é isso ser uma página de rolagem, tá? Essa ser a parte de baixo da página de rolagem,
Ok.
com o símbolo do iJus e com o cadastro, e na parte de cima a gente poder fazer alguma coisa, um resumo do projeto de uma forma simplificada para que a pessoa que entre de cara entenda que aquilo que ela está recebendo de informação é daquilo que ela quer receber, que ela já se certificou, tá?
Okay, so basically what Icaro said is that the main page is not only that. On the top of the page, we'll have some description about what iJus is, so the user knows what the idea is. And that image that we saw is at the bottom of the page, and it allows the user to interact and sign a newsletter. Is that it, Icaro? Did I get it right? Yeah, I did.
Sim, sim. Eu fechei a janela e abri de novo, sem querer.
Okay,
Mas sim. É
okay,
só basicamente para a gente ter alguma informação a mais para o cliente.
okay. So there is more information to that. Of course, you can also add some of these images and ideas in our backlog, okay, Icaro? Okay, Mateus? So it will only, and also the content that we want to put there. Okay, the description, all right? So let's get back to the board. Team, I have the same question for you now, a little more technical. What is the first event that happens when that page will open to the user? I'm asking about events, I'm asking about events because Event Storm is all about events. Let me show you the board. Okay, this is the board, these are the items, and you see that down here we have a timeline. And that timeline means events will happen while the user interacts with the application. Okay, and they can happen at any time. What we do, we put events in sequence. So we're starting from the left to the right in a logical sequence of events. Okay, and that will determine what the page actually, the functionality is actually doing. So I'll get back to you, my team. What's the first event that you think that happens?
Could it be main page opened? So the main page opened?
Okay, the main page opened. Okay, let's put it there and just work on it. I will copy it here and put, so main page opened. And the way we put events in this event storm board is by using this syntax here. Basically, it's past sentence events. Okay, so when the main page opens, that's an event. Make sense, team?
Okay, yes.
Okay, cool. So what more? Let's try to put all our events that we can imagine before, after, in sequence, I mean, after this first one.
So for example, as the main objective is to get the registration, could we put an event that's registered or signed newsletter?
Sign the newsletter.
Uh-huh. Could it be?
Yeah, go ahead, Miriam.
I thought the next event would be the user entering their email address and clicking OK.
So the user entered, let's call that, user entered the email address, right?
Yeah. user entered an email address.
Okay,
Okay, very
So-
nice.
cool.
Oh, and then another event could be user clicks submit,
So now,
like a submit button or save button.
okay, so Miriam, I will ask you to copy the template event, this little event template that is in the legend, and place the event there yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so now let's evaluate what we have here. Sorry, I'm zooming wrongly. So we have the main page opened, and then the user entered the email address, and then the user proceed and click save. Does that look as an event? The last one? I don't know. I'm thinking about something else here. Guys, this is a brainstorm, so let's discuss this thing, these events, okay?
Okay, as per what you say, could that be part of the data model from when the user enters the email address?
Let's just think about events now,
Okay.
okay? Not data models, because Marta is talking about other elements in the legend that we can use here. But right now, we are just identifying the events. I'm thinking about something that happens when the main the main page is open, and Icaro and Mateus, I have to have your input here. Is it true or false that we're going to show a message about cookies to the user?
Eu acho que o Ícaro também não entendeu.
So I'll say it in Portuguese. Ícaro, é verdade ou mentira que a gente vai ter que colocar, que a página vai mostrar aquele alerta de cookies?
Bom, o que isso implica?
Isso implica que você está de acordo com o GDPR.
Eu prefiro estar de acordo com o GDPR.
So, Icaro agrees that we have to, in the event that the page is loaded, we have to show a message to the user, and the user gets to know that the page uses cookies. It's the GDPR stuff, right, guys?
Okay, yes, and the consent button. So the user could have both things, an event saying if you remain in the page, you accept the cookies, and also a button saying they agree on receiving notifications to their email addresses.
Mm-hmm. So basically what you're saying, yeah, can you add the items to the board that you're saying, Marta, so you can see it?
Okay, so as I was thinking, we could have something like the user is notified about the cookies policy.
Okay, so let's organize it. It makes sense. Let's organize the idea. So I'll get back to the first event, because the ideas we're discussing now, it looks like they happen after the main page is loaded, right?
Yes.
So do you agree with me that there is a policy to be enforced in this case about the first event here, main page opens? Okay.
Okay, yes.
And the policy, I'll copy the policy and I'll put it there. It's just there, just next to the first one here. And that policy has to do with cookies acceptance, right?
Okay, yes. Yes, so
Acceptance. Yeah, just to explain, a policy is whatever that always happen when an event is triggered. So the event happens, whatever that's always true, always happen after that is a policy. So it's basically a rule in the system. Okay?
Okay, it makes sense, yes.
Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So does it also make sense that there is a manual process before the page is loaded? In here, like that, and that manual process is user visited website
Okay, yes.
website, and of course that role is the user, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that happens. We have a user visiting the website, so then an event happens, which is the page is opened, right?
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, what happens when the cookies acceptance policy is enforced?
So the user is notified.
So there is some sort of, that policy enforces some sort of command there, isn't it?
Okay, yes.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
And that command is what? It must check for cookie previous acceptance. That's what I'm thinking. Because these, I'm thinking about these guys because these cookie systems, what they do actually, they ask the user, they warn the user about the use of cookies in the page, and the user has to accept it in order to continue. But if the user doesn't accept it, something else happens. Is that true? I don't know.
Okay, yes, it could be that the user gets blocked and cannot continue in the page if they don't accept the cookies.
Icaro, do you want to do that? Mateus, do you want to do that? Do you want to block the user if the user doesn't accept the cookies?
No.
No, right? So, no.
André, uma coisa que eu tô tentando entender, basicamente, é isso para newsletter, certo?
Yeah. Actually,
No caso,
no. Actually, Icaro, what's happening is that we are defining something that is also common to the rest of the application.
Ah, entendi. Porque como newsletter eu não vejo diferença a pessoa aceitar ou não os cookies, por ser mais simples. Agora, como o resto, sim.
Yeah, but in terms of GDPR, that's a rule, Icaro. We have to show that. That's now demanded. Websites that are not showing that are not in accordance to the law anymore. And that includes Brazil, okay?
Sim. Por mim, então tá tudo bem.
So even if the page is very, very simple as it is, we still have to show that. Okay, team, do you agree with this command?
Yes.
Yeah, just explaining. The idea about this command is to check in some sort of mechanism that we have in the browser, which is called the local storage, to see if the user previously accepted the cookie in a previous visiting of the site.
Okay, very nice. Yeah.
Does it make sense? Miriam, what do you think?
Yeah, it's good. Good. Because, that way it will know whether to load it or not. Right?
I see. Yeah. So let's see that I think before the user entered the email, thanks to that information that I just gave you, I think there is more events around here in this area. For instance, after the check is done, what happens? In your opinion, I think two things can happen. One thing is the cookie was found and the cookie was not found. What do you think? So
Okay.
two events here, right? Cookie was found. Sorry, was not found. And the other event, as I can see, cookie was not found. And this is cookie was found.
Could we have like something, I don't know if it's accepted by law, but could it be that the page with this notification says, if you remain in the page, we assume you accept the cookies. So we could, if it's not accepted yet, we could tick it as accepted. Is that a possibility?
I think thanks to what Mateus told us, we shouldn't deny the user anything, so that's automatic, right? So if the user continues to use the page, it's like he accepted the cookies.
Okay, perfect.
Does it make sense? Is that true, Mateus?
Sim, é isso mesmo.
É isso mesmo, né?
Uhum.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so continuing here, I will just put this that we're not using aside.
Okay.
And think what happens when those two events happen. So cookie was found and cookie was not found. I think we have another instance of the cookie acceptance here coming in, right? So we have that here.
Okay.
And that also here, right?
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Why? Because in service event-oriented applications, policies will trigger commands. So we have a policy being enforced. That rule, it's basically a business rule, and that business rule will trigger commands. So basically, what happens if the cookie was not found?
It could trigger a command saying accept.
Yes. So yes, so the cookie acceptance can have a command, right? So I'll copy that one here.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And that is show cookie message. Is that message that is displayed for the user, to the user. Make sense? And
Okay, yes.
we use these little arrows to connect the policy to the command. So it's the policy that's triggering the command. Okay? Makes sense?
Okay.
Miriam, what do you think?
Yeah, sounds good. It does make sense.
Cool. Customers, Mateus and Nicaro, does it make sense that after the page is opened and the cookie was not found from previous visitations to the website, does it make sense that we have to show the cookie message?
Deixa eu ver se eu entendi.
Quer que eu traduza?
Pode ser.
Faz sentido que após a página ser aberta e os cookies não forem encontrados no browser do cliente, faz sentido que a aplicação entre e exiba a mensagem de cookies são necessárias?
Isso causa o quê? Impacta o quê na gente?
Isso causa que você vai estar de acordo com a lei.
Então, sim. O caso é sim.
Porém, outra pergunta. Isso, um computador, vamos supor, um computador normal.
Yeah.
Qual é a possibilidade das pessoas que estão entrando com a gente, vão entrar, não terem um cookie instalado?
Well, for the I will first say it in English, okay? Guys, what Mateus is asking is what's the possibility for the user to visit the page and no cookies are there in their browser? Well, the possibilities are big, Mateus. As possibilidades são grandes, porque o usuário pode estar visitando pela primeira vez. So no cookies are there, okay? And also e também o usuário pode limpar o browser, o cache do browser. So the user can clean the browser cache and have no cookies there.
Então isso causa
eu faço isso o tempo todo.
Yeah.
Um problema pra gente.
But there is no way to prevent that because that's the user rights. So that's the reason why we have this cookies checking system in place.
Não tem nem discussão.
Okay, so I will just speak in Portuguese again. Basicamente, pessoal, cookie tem que estar lá se a aplicação usa cookies. Tem aplicações que não usam cookies, mas tem que estar lá se usa. E se usa, eu tenho que dizer ao usuário, eu estou usando cookies. Ok? É lei. Se eu não fizer isso, tá fora da lei. Make sense?
Relacionado à lei e o processo da desenvolvimento em questão, tudo bem. Relacionado ao fluxo do site, isso é um problema.
Why? So he's saying that related to the use flow of the website, it's a problem. Why?
Porque vamos supor, estava até conversando com o Ícaro agora sobre cookies. Ele falou que ele nunca aceitou o cookie porque ele não gosta de notificação.
Okay, let me ask Ícaro about that. Ícaro, when you do that, when you don't accept cookies while visiting your websites.
Então, eu não vejo o problema, mas depois eu limpo o cache, tem que acertar tudo de novo.
No. What I mean is that you do that naturally. You never accept it, right?
Sim.
But there is one thing for sure that's happening. When you don't accept it and you continue to visit the website and use the website, you are automatically accepting it.
Entendi.
Okay?
Entendi.
That's the point.
Eu achei bacana.
Não, mas assim, uma pergunta que eu tenho é que é o seguinte, se o cara não aceitar, ele vai continuar vendo o site, certo?
Yes, that's what we're defining here.
O problema é se o cara não tem.
Não tem what? Okay, cookies.
Não tem o cookie.
Well, that's what I just said, Mateus. If the user continues to visit and use the website after getting to know about the cookie warning, the user will be required. The application will understand that the cookie is automatically accepted.
Entendi. Tá bom.
Okay.
Okay.
So some visitor is asking me here, what is the actual problem we're trying to solve? We are trying to solve, understand the first functionality, which is the newsletter signing that we will just make available to the user while we develop the rest of the application. So it's a newsletter signing, and the website that has this newsletter has to have the cookies, the cookies warning being displayed to the user. Okay, guys. So after that, so we have the cookies found. What happens if the cookie was not the cookie was not found?
Our policy is gonna automatically install them for the user without breaking the flow of the functionality of the page and continue, right?
Okay, from what we heard from the customer, no break of the flow will be present.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
break because
yeah,
it's going to happen automatically.
yes. So in this case here, nothing happens, right? It ends here, right? The cookie was
Uh,
found, the cookie is accepted, no, nothing happens.
it gets registered. If they don't clean the cache, it will be there for next time
Yeah,
for our
yeah, always
check.
there. So what happens actually after the cookie? Let's get this line here. So cookie was not found. Okay. The policy comes in and do that. It does that.
Uh-huh.
Then I see two other events happening here, which are basically the events about accepting or not accepting the cookies. So cookie, I'll put two events here. So cookies accepted, right?
Okay.
And cookies not accepted. Okay, does it make
So,
sense?
yes. So when it wasn't found, triggered the message. Then from the message, the user can click on yes or can ignore it.
Yes, that's it.
If they click on yes, we can have a command to register the
Yeah,
cookie.
actually what comes back to us here is the policy that triggers the command. So that same
Okay, yes.
policy, right?
Uh-huh.
It comes here, right? And here.
Yes.
Makes sense?
Yes, the policy apply for all these scenarios.
Yes. So
Okay.
let me move those around because that comes later.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we have commands now, right?
Okay, yes.
Control C, so Control V and Control V. In this case, I have to just save acceptance,
Okay.
right, in local storage.
Okay, very good.
Does it make sense? And who does that is the app, right?
Uh-huh.
And here, down here, we have another, which is show pop-up warning message. So pop-up warning message. This message is not the first one. This message is the one that says, if you continue to use the website without the cookies accepted, we will understand that you accepted the cookies.
Okay, fine.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Miriam?
Does make sense.
Customers?
Sim.
Cool. So we are okay, and those policies are triggering these events. So basically, this is yeah, this is quite cool actually right now. Okay, I think this acceptance of cookies and policies about it are here. Do you see anything about that after this event? I don't see anything else. So what actually happens now is this event here. This event, the user entered the email addresses. So after this process is done, it's done. And then this is the next event in our sequence, isn't it?
Okay, yes.
So I'll move that around. What happens, of course, and that also has a policy there. And the policy, I think the policy that comes in this case is the email validation. Make sense?
Yes.
Because the user has to enter a valid email in the field. Ícaro and Mateus, does that make sense? Or we are not going to validate anything?
Desculpa, André, você pode repetir?
Quando o usuário entra um e-mail no campo lá, o e-mail, o formato do e-mail tem que ser validado, não tem?
Sim, sim.
So I asked the customer if the email has to be validated when entered in the website, and they said yes. And the reason why this is important is because if we leave it free and the user can enter whatever there, we will probably suffer some security issues. Okay?
Yes, I understand.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So this policy will just trigger a command, isn't it?
Yes, like so for the email to be validated, the commands should check the email inputted against the validation rules from the policy.
Which is this, right? Validate email, right?
Uh-huh.
Miriam?
Yes, I was also thinking, you know, because we had a question about what we were trying to do, maybe show the image of
Oh yeah, sure.
you know, I think that would be
let
really
me
helpful.
Yeah, basically, guys, what we're trying to build here is the plan for this image here, this view, which is the newsletter page, actually the section of the page that shows the newsletter functionality. So the user will enter an email here, and we are just brainstorming what happens when the user enters the email. So it must be validated. Okay. Thanks, Miriam. That was a good idea.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we have the policy trigger a command, validate email. So I guess the next event that comes after that is the email was validated, right?
Okay, is this an event triggered by time, like a time triggered event? It does not require any action from the user.
No, it does.
But
it does.
okay,
As soon as the user enters the email and the policy is enforced and validates the email, the policy and the validation triggers the event.
Okay.
So it's a system event. It's not a time. It's not lose on time. You know.
Okay, thanks. I understand. Good to know.
Okay. After that event, I see that we have something like this, which is another policy, which is the newsletter request.
Okay.
Creation request, actually. That request is sent to the server. I will basically put another command here, but now, don't you think there is a parallel event to this one?
Email was not valid.
Yes, email was not validated, right?
Yes.
Okay, so one events may happen at the same time or in simultaneous situation. We have to put them in parallel like this, one above the other. So in this case, I think the same, no, it's not the same, I believe. Guys, when the email is not validated, what happens? Customer, what happens if the email that is informed by the user is not a valid email? What should the application do?
Para mim pode aparecer no mesmo campinho, assim, se o e-mail não é válido, para escrever de novo.
Ou escrito embaixo, vermelhinho.
Okay, so basically the customer said that when that happens, when the email is not valid, a validation message like some style change in red or a message should pop up. Okay, so that requires a policy. Do you agree, team?
Yes, I was wondering if it could be the email validation policy. So the policy could tell the rules for a valid email and also the action in case of a non-valid email.
What's the name you said for the policy?
So I was wondering if we could use this same policy to store both things, the rules for valid emails
No,
and
no,
the
no.
message.
No, because that policy deals with the validation side of the feature, while this
Okay,
one, according to the customer, what it does is just communicating the user about the problem.
okay,
So this one is like client side messaging.
okay,
Makes sense?
okay.
And
Yes.
these policies are followed by two commands, right?
Pop-up. Pop-up
Miriam?
command.
Miriam?
The pop-up command.
Yes, exactly. Guys, you can help me, okay? To add post-its to the thing. So,
A gente?
anyone can do that. So I will, Miriam, I will edit the name of the first one. You edit the name of the second one. Nice. That's it. Show pop-up. Okay, and we add the arrows there to see to determine who is doing that. Okay, so this one here and that one there. Does it make sense?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, that's it. So we did it till here. Now the next event that happens when this command is executed, right?
Yes.
So basically, I'm thinking about this event here. So newsletter creation,
Okay.
request was received.
Okay.
Make sense? And
Yes.
here there is a boundary, guys. So I'll use a line to separate the boundaries. And the boundaries are these. So I'll put a line here. In one side of the boundary, we have the client-side application.
Okay.
And in the other side, we have the server-side application.
Okay.
Yeah, application. Server-side, okay?
Okay.
Make it simple. So this happens in the browser, in the client, right? In the client side. And whatever happens now happens in the server side. Our system in the server, okay? So
Okay.
basically what happens is that this command here sends a request that triggers that event. So I will connect these two things here with an arrow. So it happens like that, right?
Okay, yes.
Okay, what comes after that?
Seria maravilhoso uma automação de disparo de e-mail depois que a pessoa cadastra.
Oh, our customer is saying that it would be marvelous if we have some automation about sending email for confirmations or things like that. Is that it, Icaro?
Sim, a gente pensou em fazer um e-mail padrão explicando qual é o funcionamento e o mesmo e-mail de agradecimento. Né?
Oh, cool.
O e-mail, na verdade, ele já está em um dos user stories do Azure.
Yeah, so what they are saying, people, is that we have the user story for that already on Azure, okay?
Yes.
So let's continue and get to the point where we have our customer just said to us. But first, I think there are previous events to that. So after the newsletter creation is received, what happens in your opinion?
The command should save the data.
Okay, so we have a policy there, right?
Uh-huh.
We have a policy there, and that policy is about... Guys, don't you think there is something else about this? Because we are validating the email in the client side. We are not doing the same in the server side, and we should. We should also validate.
Yeah, we should.
Yes, so there is a server side validation, right?
Should be on both sides.
Yeah, there is a server side validation. Customers and viewers, this is true. What happens when we have some sort of validation in the client side? We should replicate the same validation in the server side so we prevent some sort of attacks from malicious people. Okay, makes sense?
Okay, yes.
So we do the server-side validation, but the server-side validation calls a command, isn't it?
Yes.
It triggers a command. And that command is triggered by the server-side app. And this command is validate email. Is that it?
Uh-huh.
Cool. And after that, what happens? Guys, please add the arrow between the two what I think.
Something like this?
Yes. So now we have two situations again. Email was validated, right?
Okay.
And in parallel to that, we have the email was not validated, right?
Okay. Uh-huh.
What happens then? If the email was validated, I think it's done, right? Nothing happens, right?
So there is no command to save the data in the database somewhere?
I don't know if the policy does that, because I'm thinking this requires another sort of element, which is an aggregate. But let's do what you just said, okay? Which is a command.
Okay.
What's the command? Can you add the command there, please?
Okay. Yeah, I can try. So like the command could be something like save email address or move email address to server, well, to database.
Actually, what happens is we're not saving only emails to the database. We're saving this newsletter signature. And the newsletter signature contains the email.
Okay.
So we can call this can you type? We can call this create newsletter signature record. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Customer, what happens when the email was not validated by the server side?
Poderia mandar e-mail de volta, né, falando que o e-mail não foi validado.
An email. How can I send an email if the email is not valid?
Não foi isso que você perguntou?
No, I'm asking what happens, what the application does if the email is sent to the server and not valid. What it tells the user.
Oh, a primeira vez que quando a gente colocou pro lado do cliente, a gente colocou como um pop-up, né?
Yes.
De ele receber só uma notificação.
Yes.
Agora, pro lado, eu acho que é a mesma coisa, ou algo similar em questão de linguagem.
Okay, so I have a question about that to you. We can send a message back to the application, right? And the application shows the pop-up. And is there any requirement for you to keep a record of these sort of things? Like, I'll ask in Portuguese, okay? Vocês querem manter um registro de que gente que está mandando e-mail inválido para o site só por questão de segurança?
Não.
Não?
Sei lá. Não vejo. Nesse momento, não.
Ok.
Depois de
Cool.
outro tipo de aplicação, sim, mas agora...
So, guys, they don't need to keep a record about attempts to send wrong data to the server, okay? So there is this request here, and that request triggers a command. Miriam, can you please add the command there? And the command is about sending the notification back to the application, to the client-side application. So you can name it trigger send app notification job. It's after the newsletter, after the policy.
Can I ask you, when would it happen that an email validated on the client side would not be valid in the server? Like...
Yes. For instance, instead of sending an email through the application itself, let's say I'm using the website, and the website is validating it already, right?
Yes.
But then I am an attacker. I am a malicious person. I will fake I am the application. I will send another message to the server.
Okay, so this is to prevent like a bypass of the application.
Yeah, someone bypassing the application, you know?
Okay, thanks.
So trigger pop-up message for a user. Yes, this is gonna be trigger pop-up message for a user. This is gonna be a job, okay? And also, this is going to be done by the server. Okay, makes sense. Thank you, Miriam.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think this is okay, but something about this just came up to me, guys. If I'm triggering a pop-up event in a job that goes to the application, it means that there is a parallel event in here, in the app side, which is this, I will copy this one here. All right, and I will call it received notification from server. Does it make sense? Guys?
Okay, yes.
So the server side is sending a notification to the application, right?
And I was wondering, this happens there because if it's a hacker, they wouldn't have accepted the cookies, and that's why it goes to the very beginning instead of going to the end, right? Because they have not loaded the main page before, and they have not accepted cookies and everything.
No, Marta, it's just the flow of the application. The applications will run separately. So the application that the user is seeing in the browser is one application. The application in the server side is another application, and they are communicating with each other, sending messages.
Yes.
So the server side will send a message to the application that is in the client side, and that message is about the notification.
Yes, I understand. I was just wondering if we could not come back to this point in the timeline instead of here.
Oh, I see what you mean. Not sure yet.
Okay.
So
Okay.
actually, there is something wrong about this one here.
This one?
Because this one here, this policy here, because this one here, what it's doing actually, it's showing a pop-up warning message, right? And this is not
Okay.
it's not this cookies acceptance policy. This one is the client side messaging
Okay, yes.
policy, right? And that same
Yes.
policy, the same policy that is here, will be here to do the same thing, which is showing a pop-up.
Okay, perfect.
Makes sense? So this thing here is copied to here entirely. Make sense?
Okay, should we then use the client's side messaging here as well, this policy? Under the cookie was not found, show cookie messages
This
or
one here,
message?
cookies not found. Yeah, this is also the client-side messaging
Okay.
message. Can you type it there?
Yes. Oops.
Okay.
1 second, because I think I'm typing an arrow somehow.
Let
No,
me do that.
perfect. Yeah, because I think when you click on the
Client side messaging. Done.
okay.
Okay, so let's move on. I think this side is okay now. Yeah, let's go back to the end of the thing. So we are here now on the server side. And then the creation happens. It triggers a pop-up. Cool. What comes next?
So after it validates, it needs to prompt the system to do what the client wants. That is going to send the email to the user, right?
So we have when the email was validated, and what these two events were the last ones we figured out. What comes next is a policy. No, let me see. I'm thinking. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, what happens now? Okay, so if it was validated, the next event for me is basically the record was created. So I have the newsletter, signature was created, right?
So that's where it gets saved in the database.
Yes, so this is an event. It comes with a policy, right?
Okay, yes.
And that policy is basically the server side messaging. And what it does, it comes with a command, right? And that command, I'm thinking about having a job, separate job to send the email, as Icaro said. Icaro, this is the moment where we send an email to the client. So basically what we do here, we trigger send email job. Does it make sense?
Sim.
Okay. Yeah.
Exatamente isso.
Yeah. And what we are going to use to send emails is not built by us. It's an external system. So what do we do, guys?
Okay, we make reference to the external system. We have a sticky note.
Yeah, can you get it there?
Yeah, so for example, the red one.
Yes. It's can you put just above the trigger?
Here where you are?
Yes.
So
Cool.
this external system, do you have a name for it?
Yes, it's going to be the Azure SendGrid.
Eu tenho uma pergunta.
Yes.
Esse e-mail que vai ser disparado para o cliente quando ele se cadastrar
Yeah.
é o primeiro e-mail. Toda semana nós vamos disparar um e-mail automático com as news para os clientes.
Okay.
Entendeu?
I see. Okay, so that's a timely. Marta or Mira, can you get a time event, time triggered event, please, and put it here? Put it somewhere around here.
Just an event.
Yeah, just that.
Okay,
Okay, and you call send newsletter email to clients. Sent newsletter email. Sent. It's a past sentence, right? Yes. And then we'll work that out later. Okay?
Okay.
So let's get back to this to see if we are right about triggering the message job. Okay. So there is a parallel event that happens, in my opinion, in here. See if you agree with me. There's something here that is called app notification. Sorry. Come on, Andre. App notification was sent. Right? Because the server will send notifications, but when it's sent, an event is triggered. And that is also a server-side messaging policy that goes here. All right? And that will trigger a send notification job.
Okay, so I'm wondering, this is the one they just requested, yeah?
No.
The one that's going to happen frequently,
No.
like regularly.
No. This is previous.
Okay.
This is the one that happens when the server triggers a notification that's sent to the client, to the client application.
Okay.
Did you understand it?
Yes, because I thought it was this one.
No, that one is another one. That's a timely based event.
So what is the difference in between this notification and this email?
Oh, okay.
This
First,
one?
yeah. First, the type of the message. This is the message. You know, users will sign the newsletter, right? This will this will build a database of users in our server, right? What they want to do with the database is periodically send emails to the users with the newsletter.
Okay. So then this is the periodically sent one, and this is the confirmation one. Is that right?
No. This is the whatever notification the server side must send to the client application. It uses this event here.
Okay.
It means, in our case, remember, we are going to check for some things, right? Look, this case here, email was not validated, right? Then the policy newsletter creation request comes and triggers a pop-up command. It triggers a job. That job executes in parallel, not in our execution time. It executes in parallel. When it's done, it triggers an event, which is this event here. And that event sends a message to the client side.
Okay.
You got it? The idea, Marta, is to let the user knows that something wrong happened in the server with a nice pop-up.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, yes, I understand.
Cool. So I think we did this part here, which is the signature being created and triggering jobs. Okay. So I think there is, let's say. Okay. When this job here on Azure, when it is finished and the email is sent, I think there is an event here, which is this confirmation email was sent, right?
Okay, yes.
Does it make sense? So that's the next event.
Yes.
And I think when that happens, what must actually happen to the application is another pop-up, isn't it? In the application side. So I believe if we copy all these things here, from here, I'm selecting these, Control C, Control V. I think this is the same thing that happens, right? So when the confirmation email was sent, the user receives in the application side, in the client side application, I mean, a nice pop-up saying that a confirmation email was sent to your mailbox.
Okay, very nice.
Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So I think this is it. Yeah, I think this is it. So guys, thanks to the length of the current session, and we need to make it shorter, we can just finish the model later and show the results to the users in our next session. Okay, so I think I will move to the final considerations, but first I need to understand from you all, what do you think about the process? Is it useful?
Yes, I think it's really useful so that in the future we all call every step of the process the same way, and also to make sure that the client really agrees with the way we want to build the solution.
Okay. Clients? Miriam? Who?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice structure, I think. It actually shows that there is, like when you see initially the image, it looks so simple, and you don't actually realize how many events and how many,
steps are
how
involved.
much is actually, how many steps are actually involved. And it's really good to do this with a client, so we're all on the same page. So
Clients, Agile works like this. We have to have your presence in important situations like this. It takes time, I know, but that's the way it is. It's better if we tell you everything that happens and ask you everything than just trying to guess about things and do the thing wrongly. What do you think about the process?
Eu achei bem legal, e inclusive dá para utilizar a parte de validação de e-mail como um todo no processo futuro, quando vier.
Oh yes.
É bem casado.
That's true. What he just said, guys, is that he understood from the process that we can reuse the process of validation in other parts of the system.
Eu acho que esse sistema de planejamento que é feito pelo Agile, né? Ele consegue realmente detectar e trazer menos problemas num futuro aí.
Yes, Mateus is saying that he thinks this way of working, this methodology, prevents us from having future problems. And that's true. That's also true. It's about transparency and collaboration. We are part of the team, so we do work sessions. Okay, we invest our time and our work in this thing to make it happen the nice way, in a better way. And you are always knowing what's happening.
É isso
Okay?
que eu ia falar. É bom até, interessante a gente estar na reunião com vocês, porque a gente tá meio que a par de tudo que tá acontecendo.
Yes. So he's saying that it's important that they are participating as customers and domain experts in our meetings because they know everything that's happening, which is very different from traditional companies. They don't do that to you. They say, sign here and come back later. I'm joking, but you know, I have to push it. Okay? So, yeah, I forgot to do my my thing. Okay, guys, so I will just ask you to say bye-bye. Then I will finish the live today. Okay? If you want to stay, you are more than welcome. But say bye-bye to the viewers.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
And subscribe.
Bye.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Please help.
Yes.
Yeah, click the button. Okay, thank you guys. Team, if you want to stay clients for the remaining of the session, stay. Team, I want to talk to you after that, okay? See you soon. So mute, I'll get back to you. Okay, guys, so this is it. This is our board, current state of the board. We will not finish this thing today. Of course, there is a lot more to do here, okay? But that's the idea that I wanted to show you. The way Event Storm works. And of course, if you have suggestions, if you saw that something is wrong about this, please comment, participate with us, help us to do it right, okay? Thank you. I will just get back to my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so we saw a live session of event storming. I think it was nice. Next on the Open Company, we'll see the board completed with the functionality all described and also scoped, meaning we will identify our services, our microservices that will be built during the development sessions and show that board to you in the next session. That will happen in 1 or 2 days. I don't know yet. Okay, I'll let you know. Please subscribe and yeah, hit the button. Thank you. See you next time. Bye-bye.